Hey now, ladies and gentlemen. Hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now, and a hey now, and a hey now. Our number 3 of the line right here on Talk 99.5, talk995.com, and AndrewMcLeanWho.com. Also on YouTube, Real Talk 99.5 TV. So, yeah. Hook it up. By the way, we got tickets to the Jack Links 500 at Talladega. That's coming up April 24th through the 26th. Text the word Talladega to 205-545-9950 for your chance to win. You'll be qualified. If you've already done it, you don't have to do it a million times. Just once is probably good enough. You can also buy tickets at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com or 877 go to Dega. Go to Dega, which is what you'll be doing. You'll be going to Dega. Anyway, Bubba says pride comes before the fall. Wise words there, huh?
Absolutely.
Chicken Lady says, I'm with JB. Bring on the Counting Crows, Mr. Jones.
That's one of my favorite songs to sing when I play out live.
Yeah.
Although my cousin is the bass player for them. And I mean, I'm not jealous, but, you know, it is what it is.
David says, Pride Month offends me. It's disgusting. Maybe he meant disgusting. But if anyone says anything, they are considered harsh and should be shot.
Oh, dang.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Donna says, as a Chicago girl, born and lived my whole life to mid-40s, huge Bulls fan, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman. I will never root for them again.
No.
Pulling my Bulls jerseys out of the closet now. Speaking of out of the closet, pulling her Bulls jerseys out of the closet for Pride Month. It all works out that way. What news channel was it? Says James. I missed it. Thanks and welcome back, JB. That was ABC 3340, but I don't remember the news anchor's name. Again, it's not her fault, so her name's irrelevant.
Yeah,
but,
and at least they apologized.
And they did. They said, that we shouldn't have put out that statement, that quote. It was something simple like, those who shut up and listen are prosperous, or
we'll get 25 virgins in the next life. Something like that.
Something like that. Let's see. Walter says, what? Nothing like Kaepernick. This had nothing to do with disrespecting the flag of our country. I wasn't saying that being against Pride Month and disrespecting our flag are the same thing, obviously. I mean, if I'm going to side with one of them, I'm siding with the guy who says, Pride Month is ridiculous. I'm just saying in the sense of expressing your opinion, it is the same thing. Kaepernick was expressing his opinion, and Jaden Ivey was expressing his opinion. And I was comparing them because they're both in sports, and they both got backlash. So don't think that I'm comparing the two. Justin says, watch South Park, The Death Camp of Tolerance. That show predicts the future. The Death Camp of Tolerance. A bunch of Talladega text. Another Justin says, what month is celebrating being straight and a believer in Christ?
We ain't got one. Well, Trump may be working on
it. It's every month. As far as I'm concerned.
It's every day. Forget the holiday thing.
And especially coming up this weekend with Easter.
Yes. I mean, can't wait.
This is the ultimate celebration.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Jessica and I had invited you guys to come. We're so excited.
I know you keep bringing it up, and I told you if we can make it happen, we're going to do it. I'm
so excited y'all are coming.
Donna says, LMAO, that's not what I meant. Oh, I know. I'm just joking. I'm just kidding around. But it was funny that you're pulling it out of your closet for Pride Month. What else? So we were talking about the Army helicopters and Kid Rock saying he's not worried about the investigation because his buddy's the commander in chief. I thought that was pretty funny. Um, there is a report. I want to talk a little bit about what's going on in Iran. Trump has just told the New York Post that we won't be in Iran much longer. He firmly believes that we're about to get out of there. And he has given Iran an ultimatum. He says, you either give us the uranium that you've got, because at this point, this has been a process. It's getting rid of their missiles, getting rid of their nuclear facilities, and now they've got their stockpiles of uranium. And we're saying to them, you give us the uranium or we're going to come and take it, because all of this would be for naught. There's no point in us even doing this if we let you keep your current stockpiles of enriched uranium. It's just not going to fly. That's how you make your nuclear weapons and everything else. So the last step is going to be just that. And he says, if you don't want to hand it over, we're going to come take it. But also, if you don't play ball, we're going to come take over Carg Island, and we're just going to be running the whole show over there. And that part of Iran, which in particular, our only concern in Iran outside of the nuclear weapon deal is the Strait of Hormuz, which, by the way, there were more boats going through the Strait of Hormuz today, but it's still an issue. And so he says the clock's ticking. And at some point, we're just going to bomb everything if you don't play ball. We're not going to sit here and wait much longer. This is not, we set a timetable, which was 4 to 6 weeks. It's now been right about a month. And so Iran's got about a week to go.
I was wondering this, with the way you've got the suicide bombers and the fanatics for Islam. Do you think that they're like, well, we will go down fighting no matter what? And if that's the case, what in the world?
You're asking if that's their mentality?
Yes.
What is and that's the whole problem. It is such an apocalyptic mentality that these individuals have. Their vision for the future is the apocalypse, essentially. Just everything that is not in line with Islam is destroyed, and they're all that's left. And then everything works out in their favor, or however it plays out. So that's the crux of the whole issue. That's why the negotiations have been so slow, or have not bared the fruit that they would with another civilized society or civilized group of leadership. You're not dealing with that. You're dealing with religious ideologues that have a mindset of all or nothing and are willing to give their lives for that. And it was the purpose of going through 3 rounds of leadership and just bombing them until the right guy pops up that says, you know what, okay, we would like to get back to our lives and everything else. Now, here's what's interesting is most people in this country don't have a stomach for war. So this operation in Iran to them is, in their mind, war, and most of them would never even survive in a real war. But the rest of the world is tipping their hat to the U.S. and saying thank you for doing this. Even those that seem to have on the outside want to act all big and tough in front of their liberal constituents across the world, such as our European allies, are also whispering behind the scenes, hey, appreciate you doing that, because these are some bad dudes and could cause some real problems. You think about how they're acting now. Do you really want those individuals controlling the Strait of Hormuz? Because imagine that they did start firing just on just any given day, just out of nowhere, started bombing U.S. bases, started firing rockets at European countries, at their Middle Eastern neighbors, and closed the Strait of Hormuz, and nobody was ready for it. Like, there was no preparation. It just happened on a random day. They have that kind of power. They have had the ability to do that. And it's something that's been discussed amongst experts and politicians for years and years and years. Do we really want these crazy people to be able to have that kind of stranglehold on the global economy? Whether it's 20% of the rest of the world's oil or whatever, do you want them to have that ability with them being the type of people they are? The answer is no. And most people have felt that way, but nobody's been brave enough to act on it because it's not politically convenient. Just as this this Operation Epic Fury has not been politically convenient for Donald Trump. It is proof that Donald Trump does what he thinks is right and not politically convenient. And so he's doing what many have wanted to do, but have really, and many across the world, especially those in the Middle East that consider themselves to be our allies of some form, have always wanted this to happen, but knew they couldn't do it without the U.S.'s leadership. And because for years and years and years, the U.S. has had weak leadership, it never happened. Now, according to reports, the U.S. Mideast allies, including Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and others, are privately urging Trump to continue with this operation against Iran until they're completely obliterated. They said Tehran's not been weakened enough and that Donald Trump needs to put the pedal to the metal. The U.S. allies say 4 weeks of bombings has not been enough to destroy the barbaric Iranian regime. Ulma Research and Education Center published a map of the Iranian regime's targets since the war started, and that includes Oman, the UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Iraq, Jordan. All of these countries have been hit by missiles from Iran. And then obviously Israel, which is out of all of those countries is kind of the furthest away from Iran. So it's understandable that Iran's Middle East neighbors are tired of the Iranian threat after 40 years of this theocratic regime. At the end of the day, they've been under threat by them as well. And they're saying enough is enough. Now that we've finally done it, something that should have been done long ago, we'd like to make sure you finish the job, Mr. President. Don't stop. Don't bow to public pressure. Don't bow to polls. Just keep on keeping on because you can accomplish this. They know that, and Donald Trump knows that. But he also wants to get out of there as soon as possible. And I think both of those things can happen. And I think they will happen. Now that we're at the end of the line with a matter of 1-2 weeks left on the original timeline that was given, hopefully we stick to that. War is unpredictable, though. You don't know what's going to happen. But the president and the president's staff, his cabinet, seem to be pretty confident that we could still possibly stick to that script, stick to that timeline. And only time will tell. Brand new ruling from the Supreme Court, which is a ruling on the Colorado ban on conversion therapy for LGBTQ plus kids.
And?
Are you familiar with this case?
Yes, I am.
So essentially, it is like a Christian counselor was, you'd have, say you have, some kid, some 12-year-old comes in and says, I think I'm a transgender furry. And the counselor's like, no, I think you're not. And let me talk you out of it. And Colorado banned that counselor from doing that, and everybody. And that turned into a lawsuit, made its way to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court has ruled in favor of the conversion therapy in an 8-1 ruling against Colorado and in favor of the therapy, saying that it is a free speech issue. Which is good, because now that these counselors can talk to kids that think they're a dog or trans or whatever and tell them, maybe you're not, instead of just constant reinforcement of, yeah, you're whatever you feel like on the inside. Here's how it lays out.
Okay.
From the AP. The Supreme Court on Tuesday ruled against a law banning conversion therapy for LGBTQ plus kids in Colorado, which is one of about 24 states that banned the practice. Well, the AP says banned the discredited practice. They're saying conversion therapy is discredited. An 8-1 high court majority sided with a Christian counselor who argues the law banning talk therapy violates the First Amendment. The justices agreed that the law raises free speech concerns and sent it back to the lower court to decide if it meets the legal standard that few laws pass. Justice Neil Gorsuch, writing for the court, said the law, quote, censors speech based on viewpoint. The First Amendment, he wrote, quote, stands as a shield against any effort to enforce orthodoxy in thought or speech in this country. Gorsuch's opinion drew support, ironically enough, from liberal justices Elena Kagan and Sonia Sotomayor. A state could similarly not ban talk therapy designed to affirm a minor's sexual orientation or gender identity, Kagan said. Quote, once again, because the state has suppressed one side of a debate while aiding the other, the constitutional issue is straightforward. So the liberals are saying, the liberals on the court are saying, well, the reason we're voting in favor of this is because we want therapists to also be able to reinforce and affirm kids' gender ideology, which it can, ultimately based on this ruling, it can work in both ways. But I think that's a pretty good win from the Supreme Court. But as I said, it was an 8-1 decision. You want to guess who the one that voted against this was?
Who?
Yes.
Clarence Thomas.
No, it's not Clarence Thomas.
No, that chick with the glasses.
Which one?
Sarah Lamar Sotomayor.
No. It's Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Oh, yeah. I blocked her out of my memory.
The one with the lowest IQ on the entire court.
Ketanji.
She's got the same IQ as the janitor's broom at the Supreme Court. In a solo dissent, Ketanji Brown Jackson wrote that states should be free to regulate health care, even if that means incidental restrictions on speech. The decision, Jackson wrote, quote, opens a dangerous can of worms that threatens to impair states' ability to regulate the provision of medical care in any respect. How dumb. She's like, yeah, it suppresses free speech, but it opens a can of worms. And I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what a woman is. So anyway, I guess it's a win for free speech. Because we need to cut down on minors being told that it's okay for them to switch their gender. Chuck Davis. ChuckDavisLaw.com. ChuckDavisLaw.com. My attorney, Chuck Davis, looking to help you out with all your legal problems that you may have. Could be personal injury, like wrongful death, slip and fall, car wrecks, anything that's happened to you that's somebody else's fault, you think you're owed some compensation on, or you know you're owed compensation on. Get in touch with my buddy Chuck. Real estate, probate, contracts, wills. If you don't have those wills done, man, I can't stress enough how important it is for you, your family members, like your parents or your grandparents. Just check with them. Make sure they've got them done. And if they don't, get in touch with Chuck Davis and say, hey, Chuck, what do we need to do? Andrew's been telling me to call you. And then the dreaded divorce and custody battles. Those are bad. Bad news. And if you don't have somebody fighting for you, you're gonna be in doo-doo water. You'll be in real doo-doo water. So don't end up making a bad decision when it comes to representation. Go with my attorney, Chuck Davis. And I mean that. It's my attorney. It's Richard Dixon's attorney. He's helped me out on so many fronts, and so I know that he's going to fight for you. Here's the number, 205-823-9992. It's 205-823-9992. And again, online, ChuckDavisLaw.com. No representation is made that the legal services provided are superior to the legal services provided by other lawyers. So y'all hit him up. And the thing is if you got something that's kind of outside of his area of expertise, he's got a network of the best lawyers around. He's going to be able to send you in the right direction and give you a good reference so you won't leave empty-handed. Now, this has popped up over the past couple of hours, and the Daily Mail originally reported this. Now, let me set the stage real quick. Kristi Noem, former head of Homeland Security, right? She was doing a fair job, I guess. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of complaints, but apparently there was some stuff on the backside. There was $200 million spent on an ad campaign, which she then testified under oath that Trump knew about. Trump said he didn't know about it. And then soon after that, she was removed from that position, and they put Mclain in that spot, who had just recently been confirmed as of, I believe, last week, right? And Kristi Noem, it's kind of been this open secret that she had this ongoing romantic relationship with Corey Lewandowski, who was working with her. Now, Corey Lewandowski has been with the Trump campaign from day one. Back in 2015, he was a campaign manager. He's a firebrand. He's a fighter. He's a Stephen Miller-esque guy. And Trump likes him. Trump views him as a loyal fighter, an advisor, and so he's kept him around. But if there was in fact a romantic relationship, which seems to be between Corey and Kristi Noem, that could pose a problem. Why? Because Kristi Noem is married, and she's been married for a long time. Well, even though that open secret was out there, Kristi Noem remained married, and nobody really knew a lot about her husband. I mean, you generally knew about him or what he did and everything else, but it was just strange, you know? It's kind of like, you know, somebody whose wife is cheating on him, but they're still together, and you're like, oh, it's not my place to tell them or whatever, you know? And it's just, it's a weird situation, I gotta imagine. Well, the Daily Mail comes out today and exposes some information that they've received on Kristi Noem's husband. He apparently is living a cross-dressing double life. And Kristi Noem says she didn't know anything about it.
Oh, man.
Which could have also, I mean, on the political side of this, could also have been a reason that Trump removed her from what is a very important position, saying if your husband's a cross-dresser, then it's important that, you know, I mean, that kind of stuff could be used as blackmail, which would then ultimately taint your decision-making. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and the whole administration, they're
Like,
going to try and paint.
yeah, you can't have those kind of skeletons in your closet and remain in a high position such as that. Apparently, she spoke to the New York Post, and Christie says she's devastated by the salacious allegations. Her husband, Byron, lives a double life where he cross-dresses and chats online with fetish models.
What about what she said that?
She said she was devastated by it.
Oh, to find that out.
Yeah, because she claims she didn't know. But, you know, you were kind of doing your thing on the side and you were staying married. You know, if that's your thing as a mutual agreement and you'll have this open relationship, that's, you know, you do you. That's fine. But do we believe that she didn't know? I don't know. I don't know if I believe it. According to her representatives, she didn't speak to the Post directly, but her representatives did. They said, Miss Noam is devastated. The family was blindsided by this. They asked for privacy and prayers at this time. And it's kind of weird because you view them as kind of all-American, you know, out in the wilderness, kind of outdoorsy people. You don't peg them as, no pun intended, you don't peg them as you know, fetish cross-dressers. Anyway, her husband's probably just a weird guy. According to the Daily Mail report, Brian Noam chatted up women from the so-called bimbo fixation fetish scene. Is it bimbo fixation? I might get Jumper to look this up real quick. Let's see. Bimbo, he's busy. People walk in there and start talking to John Bird. And I can't get him. All right, bimbo fixation. It says is... All right, John Bird, so listen to this.
All right,
So
I'm sorry.
Brian...
Too cumulus.
Tell him to get out of here. We're doing a radio show.
All right, go ahead.
Brian Noam chatted up women from the so-called bimbo fixation fetish scene, in which adult performers augment their breast with massive amounts of saline to achieve a Barbie-like doll. A Barbie doll-like appearance.
No, let's not.
Bimbofication is a often I had to look it up. Often Gen Z driven social media phenomenon reclaiming the bimbo trope, focusing on embodying femininity, extreme positivity, kindness, and leftist values rather than just superficial appearance. It is a self-empowerment trend centered on dismantling intellectual elitism, rejecting toxic girl boss hustle culture, and embracing self-expression over rigid intelligence standards. Okay, so according to bimbofication, according to the definition of it, it is kind of pushing back on feminism, right? Now, this is a little different than what it's trying to say, be as girly as you can be. I think is what I'm taking from this. And so he's talking to people that are in that fetish world that are, I guess, maybe, I don't know. I don't fully understand it.
I mean, sticking a needle in your boob and, just run water in there.
Well, and he has apparently been wearing big fake titties as part of his cross-dressing deal. Citing hundreds of messages purportedly sent by 3 women from the scene, Noam's husband enthusiastically praised their heavy augmented appearances and proclaimed he coveted huge, this is a quote, huge, ridiculous boobs.
Oh, man.
One photo the Mail claims Byron Noam shared with the women features him wearing pink hot pants and a flesh-colored skin-tight suit. He appears to have put balloons in his shirt to mimic comically oversized, lopsided breasts, complete with fake protruding nipples.
Oh,
The Post does not confirm the details reported by the Mail, but the Daily Mail claims that that is in fact him.
this is so uncomfortable.
The outlet spoke to national security experts who summarized her husband's alleged proclivities could have left the former DHS secretary, who was fired last month, vulnerable to potential blackmail, as we noted. The Gnomes have three children. Three children. What?
They got 3 children.
I'm so distraught by this. The Gnomes have 3 children. Daughters Cassidy, 31 years old, and Kennedy, 29 years old, and a son, Booker, 23 years old. Cassidy and Kennedy both have children of their own, which I would imagine are very young children. So that's, the adult children can deal with this. That's like, if that's, it's not going to be easy to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, that's bad enough that the adult children are having to go through it, because how long has he been doing that, I wonder?
I don't know. In a 2022 interview with Elysian, Kristi Noem said, quote, "We are such a transparent family," over their willingness to put their family life out there, adding that they're, quote, "an open book."
You ain't no open book. At least your hubby's not. Kristi.
Well, look, here's actually Kristi Noem and her husband dressed as Dr. Slam. He's dressed just like you.
Get that off the camera right now.
Oh,
my gosh. No, but he's Dr. Sam. I'm Dr. Slam.
He's Dr. Slam.
Oh, man. Kristi.
Dr. Slam that behind.
Oh, God.
However, big questions have swirled about the state of Noem's marriage in recent years, primarily concerning the ousted DHS chief's relationship with Trump confidant Corey Lewandowski. Lewandowski, who is also married, has been by Noem's side at high-profile events, even sitting side by side across from presidents during meetings in the South American country earlier this month. Her and her husband have been together a long time. Look at this picture. This is from way back when. I guess this might be their marriage photo. Oh, I'm plugged in. Hold on. Unplug that.
She's unrecognizable.
I know. She probably did some bimboification.
Oh,
Got
man.
Got some saline and
Kristi.
Boy, what a mess that is.
What have you done?
Their cozy appearance came just weeks after she was grilled over the alleged affair in a Senate Judiciary Committee hearing in which she dodged questions as her husband Byron sat behind her. And that was the thing. Again, it was kind of an open secret, so it's like Byron, her husband, didn't even care because he had his own weird fetish stuff going on. He didn't care that she was out here shagging Corey Lewandowski. And this brings up the question of, how is Corey Lewandowski still married? Anyway.
It's like a freaking soap opera.
Yes. Well, again, it just shows why Donald Trump's decision-making is so important. He ousted her just in time, because this could have been a lot worse had this come out while she was DHS secretary. I think the fact that he has moved her, and who knows, it's not necessarily, the picture that's being painted is not necessarily showing Kristi Noem doing something wrong in relation to what her husband's actions are, but she is with Corey Lewandowski, and that has been out there. So maybe, I don't know. That's just weird,
man.
But everybody's going to be hearing about that very soon. Earnest Financial, retirewithernest.com. Retirewithernest.com. That's my buddy David Earnest. He's got you covered on your retirement. You need to get it protected. It's a no-brainer. Doesn't cost you anything. They just get your retirement protected and make sure it grows for you. Helps you come up with a plan for retirement. You can't just go into it with a blindfold. Otherwise, it's not going to work out for you. You got to understand what's coming. You got to be able to lay out what it is you want to do and how you want to do it, how you want to accomplish it. That's what these guys do. They know all the programs, all the loopholes, and everything else, as they've been doing this for decades and decades. They've been doing this for a very long time. They've seen the economy up and down and all around, so they know what the stock market's about to do and everything else. They got you covered. Just reach out to them and tell them Andrew Mclain sent you. 833-596-7233. That's 833-596-7233 and online, retirewithernest.com. No roofing. God, it drives me crazy, dude. Do you think it's a cord?
Yeah, it's a cord, probably a connection. You got a line that's about loose. Probably needs to be replaced.
What if I
That
unplug
cable.
this?
Okay, try that. Okay, and plug it back in.
And now, did I just fix it?
Well, for right now, you have.
Look at that. Look at me go.
Don't get too confident. Those things have a habit of coming back.
I need a little
Double D40.
I need a little WD-40 in here. For sure. Noto Roofing, NOTOroofing.com. NOTOroofing.com, my roofing company, my favorite roofing company in the whole world. Without a doubt, man. I mean, I have people hit me up, and I understand. I talk about these businesses all the time, and you think to yourself, well, everybody's got to have the number memorized or the website or whatever, and that's not really the case. I mean, you're in the middle of your day, you're working, you're driving, or whatever. But I have people all the time hit me up, and they're like, "Hey, man, I know you got this roofing company. I cannot think of the name of it. I was gonna Google it. Tell me what it is. Can you give me their number?" And I always do. I will usually, when people hit me up about it, I'll usually put you in direct contact with my boy Chris, so you don't, you can just go straight to the guy that's going to be coming out and inspecting your roof. But it's just as good as calling them up at the regular number and telling them that you heard about him on Andrew Mclain's show, and that Andrew Mclain said you can get a free roof inspection with no obligation, no strings attached, no nothing, and a complimentary roof tune-up. That is 100% true, and it's going to be true for a very long time if you just call them, mention me, and get yourself hooked up. Your roof is very important, and if you got issues, they're only going to get worse. They're not going to fix themselves. 205 848 2299. That's 205 848 2299. And online, notoroofing.com. Yeah, so I'm looking at people are posting text. I'm trying to see.
Are you looking for the perfect text?
Well, no, the people are posting text messages that relate to Kristi Noem's husband. And this one says, a source texted, this is Mark Caputo, who is Trump White House reporter for Axios, CBS contributor. He said, yeah, I got a weird lead. A source texted me on February 13th. They said an immigrant sex worker, possibly in the country illegally, wanted to go public about Noem's husband using her services online. It was vengeance for DHS's immigration enforcement. He said, I couldn't land the interview. Let's see. He then says, sharing because folks sometimes wonder how reporting works. Here, I would have needed to talk to the accuser and verified the info the way the Mail did, the Daily Mail did. We use anonymous sources. They're credible. Sometimes it means someone else gets the story. Okay, so that's just a guy saying that, he knew about this and didn't report on it because he couldn't talk to the person that was claiming the immigrant sex worker. They wouldn't talk to him in fear for their safety. It's
worse and worse.
Do you remember the one Canadian woodshop teacher that was cross-dressing and he was wearing these ginormous...
Yes.
Somebody posted a picture of that and said, just joined a woodshop class. The instructor's name is Mr. Noem. And it's a picture of that Canadian teacher with the big old tatas. Crazy, man. Crazy stuff. Salacious stuff at that. And, in the grand scheme with the operation in Iran and everything else going on in the world, it's kind of small potatoes. But then at the same time, it's kind of not.